So in the previous class, we have discussed the hardware units. You know that computer is a mix of hardware units and software unit. So hardware unit, if you see, there are input devices, output devices, and you have a CPU. Okay, we have discussed the hardware units in detail. So today we'll start with the basics of software. Okay, so there are two different softwares available. One is system software, okay, and the other one is application software. Okay, so system software is nothing but this is must. Okay, this software is must. Without this software, your personal computers or laptop, even your mobiles, that won't run. This is basically called, the system software is basically called as operating system, OS. It is basically called operating system. Some examples of operating system: Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac, okay, Android. All those things are examples of system software. Okay, this is must. Without this, your mobile phone, PC, laptop, they won't work. Okay, applications software is nothing but apps. Whatever the apps you are using in your mobile phone, not only mobile phones, your laptops and PCs, they are basically application softwares. Without this also, your PC, mobile, laptops will run. Okay, uh, uh, these are developed for some specific applications. For example, Facebook is a application software. WhatsApp, okay, games, that phone pay, Google Pay, okay, all those things, okay, they are application software. So there are two major classification of software. One is system software, which is essential. Okay, the second type of software is applications. If required, you can install. Okay, that is not necessary, okay, for the system to run. So we'll discuss, we are not going to discuss much about the application software. We are going to discuss some fundamentals of operating system, which is system software. Okay, uh, so you want okay, your computer to execute certain programs, okay, and it should make the task very easier. Whatever the task you want to do, your task should be very simple. Okay, so you are writing some programs. Okay, uh, so you are using various applications along with the hardware. So operating system is a software. As I said earlier, this is the system software. It actually controls the entire set of resources. Okay, whatever the resources available, it can be a hardware resource or it can be a memory. Actually, it controls, okay, the entire set of resources, and it, okay, it makes, okay, it allows us to effectively utilize every part of the computer. So resource allocation, okay, controlling the resources, effectively utilizing the resources. Okay, these are the uh, main, okay, functionalities of a operating system. Okay, there is a figure you can see here. uh, there is hardware, these are applications. Okay, so these are apps, applications. These are hardware units: input unit, output unit, input, output, CPU, all those things hardware. So in between, if you see, you have an operating system. Say there are n number of user. This particular user is writing a C code. Okay, so he is using some compiler. Okay, this particular user is using assembly level language. Say he is writing a code for 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so he is using a assembler. Okay, this particular person is okay, using Word document or text, okay, to type. This particular person is accessing some database. So all these are applications. Okay, so between the applications, okay, and hardware, the operating system is there. This is very essential. What is the need of operating system? Let me elaborate. So this is basically a platform for application programs. Okay, on top of which you are going to write applications. That means programs, other programs. Okay, so each application, already we know, applications are for a specific task. It is used to perform a specific task very easily. Okay, so this operating system acts as an interface between the computer and the user. Okay, then it is designed in such a way that it operates, controls, executes various applications. Okay, as I said earlier, it is okay. It manages the input output units and memory units. Say for example, it manages its own resources like memory, monitor, keyboard, printer, etc. Okay, and effective utilization. These are repetitive points. I don't want to explain every time. It controls various system input output resources and allocates the necessary resources, okay, for the user based on the requirement. And if you see, uh, this user interface is UI user interface, that is very important. So operating system, it gives a template. Okay, operating system, it gives some template. Say for example, you have some start button kind of thing. Here you can see the programs. Yeah, you have certain drives. Okay, C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive. If you are inserting a pen drive, okay, it will show something. Okay, some additional icon. So the user interface, how you are accessing the system, okay, uh, that is very simple with in the case of operating system. You don't want different user interface every time. Okay, so anyone who knows a little bit knowledge in the computer, he can access the access the system very easily. Okay, so this UI components to make the working of your computer really easy for the user. Okay, it has certain templates. Okay, so if you are comfortable in Windows 7, you can easily work the previous versions, or you can easily work with Windows 10, something like that. More commonly, the templates are almost similar. Okay, then multitasking. So as I said earlier, this operating system manages the memory. It allows multiple programs to run, okay, in their own space, and those programs can communicate each other, okay, through shared memory. Say for example, I'm just using Windows operating system. Now I am using this MS Teams app. I'm just taking the online class. Say for example, parallelly I have run a Python code. Okay, that is also running. See, this Python code, actually it has to access some data which is there in the memory. It is automatically accessing the data. After accessing the data, this program computes and it is giving the out. It is displaying the output. Okay. Say parallelly, I'm just running some audio player so that I can listen some songs. So see, all these things. See, operating system is basically a multitasking mode. Okay, so you can do several tasks on a computer at a time. So what are the functionalities of an operating system? Uh, Processor management. Okay, So again, I'm not going to discuss these points in detail. You have another course, computer organization. There you will be studying these things. Uh, I will tell what is what. Okay. So processor management is, you have a processor. It can be i3, i5, i7. You have some processor. You need to efficiently use the processor. Okay. You have you have a term called CPU time. So I have certain task. Okay, I have certain task. So what is that? What is the CPU time I'm going to allocate to complete this task? Okay, manually we cannot do. Our operating system does that. Okay, I have another task here. Okay, for doing the task, what is the CPU time? Okay, for doing this task, what is the CPU time? Okay, this is basically called scheduling. Scheduling is the technical term. In order to do all this, okay, what is the CPU time? Okay, what is the time the processor has to allocate? Okay, that is decided by the operating system. There are very popular scheduling algorithms in the literature. One is the first one is shortest job first. So say for example, this particular first task, it takes more time. Okay, second one, when compared to first, it is less time. Say this is 5 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes, 1 minute. So this is the simpler task. It requires less CPU time. So the operating system schedules this task first, then it will go for the next task, and it will go for the third, the highest task which requires more CPU time. So this scheduling is called shortest job first. And there are other there is other scheduling algorithm that is called round robin. So what it does means, uh, uh, say uh, I will allocate 15 seconds for this task. Okay, CPU time is 15 seconds. CPU will do this task even though the task is not completed. Okay, next 15 minutes it will do, 15 seconds or minutes, whatever the time you want, just for understanding and telling. It will do the next task. Whether this is completed or not, again it will move for the next task. Okay, once here 15 is over, again it comes for this. Like this it will go. This type of scheduling is called round robin scheduling. Okay, round robin scheduling. The last one is priority based. Okay, say you have a number of things, but you want to do this particular task first. Okay, this particular task has high priority. So based on the priority, okay, the operating system asks the processor to do this job first. Okay, so processor management, so scheduling, allocating CPU time for each process, that is done by the operating system. Then device management, so we have already discussed. Okay, if you see the CPU which carries the processor, you have input device, you have an output device. Okay, these input devices and output devices, they are externally connected. Okay, if you see the processing speed of CPU is high, but the processing speed of input device and output device is not that much speed. So basically the operating system matches. Okay, it synchronizes. Okay, it maintains the balance between CPU and the devices. Say it is sending some info to the monitor. Okay, if this is very fast, CPU is very fast and monitor is very slow, then what happens, your monitor may okay, it may miss some data, some packets may be lost. Okay, so but if the balance is not maintained, the informations must be lost, but this operating system balances. Okay, it synchronizes between these two. And if you have your laptops, you can see, you can partition the memory. You can partition the memory. Say you have 1 TB hard disk. Okay, so you can use the operating system so that you can partition that to C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, like that. You can partition whenever you want, you can release some spaces. Okay, unwanted things you can delete by going for fragmentation. Okay, so as per your convenient, you can go for different partitions. Okay, that is possible. You can partition the memory. It may be equal size or different size. Okay, again, this partition is possible only with the help of operating system. Okay, so it avoids wastage of memory. Then virtual memory, this is a very important point. uh, See, yesterday I said, if you want to run a program, say for example, you have written a Python code, very simple Python code. How it works means, okay, this Python code that goes to the main memory. Yesterday we discussed, okay, instructions, data, all those things. So what happens? This program is loaded in the main memory. Suppose if the program is much larger than the main memory, okay, it is called virtual memory. No issue. Operating system takes care of it, even though the memory requirement is more. Okay, it utilizes the concept called virtual memory, so that without any problem, okay, the program will be executed. Okay, this idea is called virtual memory. So here you can see, operating system allow the user can load the programs which are larger than the main memory of the computer. Okay, then file management. So since we are using operating system, so say I'm handling different classes: network theory, wireless communication, digital communication, suddenly Python. So I have all the material. So what I'm doing, I'm just organizing the files, folders, assignments, okay, all those things. So I can easily go for, if I want Python materials, I'm just going for the corresponding folder, and I'm just opening the corresponding file. I'm just displaying. I'm taking the class. So this is very easy. File management is very easy with the help of operating system. Actually, operating system, it maintains a table, something called a file allocation table. So that file allocation table, it contains the information like what is the file name, whether the file is a text file or binary file, what is the size, what is the address, okay, what is the access mode, okay, all those information it has. So with the help of operating system, you can create a file, edit the file, copy the file, you can allocate what is the required memory. All those things are possible.